manje sizibulisele ngesasa namhlanje lona umephambili oza ngiphathelele inkqubo ifitshane namhlanje uphakamisa kaGeorge osuka kula entity kuthiwa Eastern Cape Development Corporation ECDC offices nalapho ebhakala which is the office efitshane for the head office ECDC. Malizibusele namhlanje umphathiswa we-Department of Economic Affairs, Environment and Tourism, DDIT, umphathiswa uMvoko obekileyo namhlanje. Ndizibusele ku-Executive Mayor wesithili saseMathole, uCouncillor Ndikida ophakathi kwethu namhlanje. Ndizibulisele kubo bonke abakhoyo bomasipala we-district iAmathole naseMnquma abakhoyo phakathi kwethu. Ndizibulisele nabo bonke abaphathi neenkokheli zemvaba neenkonzo ezikhoyo phakathi kwethu abafundisi, the CEO of the Chief Executive Officer of the Eastern Cape Development Corporation onathi namhlanje, ii-colleagues zam, ii-managers, ootishara, bantu abaluleke kakhulu ootishara abagcina abantwana bethu, bahlehla abantwana bethu abakhoyo kwesi sikolo nabo abo basoka izikolo ezingasefitshane. Very importantly, amalungu ele community yalapha kunabakazi abasijongileyo isikolo abasamkeleyo nathi xa sizointroducer lento sinayo namhlanje. Ndiye ndoyiswe iprotocol kuba ndiye ndingayazi uba banokhoyo bangekhoyo, kodwa ke noomama nootata, most importantly also nabantwana besikolo nabasifulela kamnandi kwatsho kamnandi kwangasemva. Qha ndinexhala kuba ndibone ngaselangeni, ndinethemba kodwa sawuzicebo ngaloo nto leyo. Namhlanje inkqubo yethu ayikho nde. Sizawucela u-Executive Mayor of Amathole District Municipality uCouncillor Ndikida, nguye uzasivulela samkelele indwendwe nganitsasa namhlanje. Ngaphandle uba nditye ixesha, let me call upon u-Executive Mayor uCouncillor Ndikida aze ngaphambi. Nkosi.
Kule ngingqi yesithili saseMathole kwakunye namaqumrhu athe anegalelo kulo msitho esize ngawo namhlanje. The white paper on local government situates local government within a framework of cooperative governance, where the spheres are distinct, interdependent and interrelated. Urhulumente lo wasemakhaya unguye oqaliswe oloxanduva lokuqinisekisa into yokubana iinkqubo zorhulumente zibambene kwaye futhi sizizigaba zonke zorhulumente siya ebantwini bakuthi sibambene ngezandla. Kungoko sidibene apha namhlanje. In terms of the principles of cooperative governance, all spheres of government within all governance structures, like state-owned enterprises, must work together to advance the social and economic development of communities. The principles of cooperative governance find expression in the district development model, where district municipalities are positioned as centers of coordination of all developmental activities in their space, where all other spheres and other agencies providing resources to support community development. Yolo silapha namhlanje sizokwenza elolima nokubambisana ngokuqinisekisa into yokubana senza oko sifanele ukwenza ukutshintsha impilo yabantu bakuthi nokuthatha uhulumende siluzise ebantwini. The Amatole District Municipality has developed a long-term vision called Vision 2058, which envisages the future of the district where technology and innovation are at the center of the socio-economic growth of the district and its citizens. Lama kulo mphathiswa aphuhlisa kanye nqakasana lo mbono waseMathole. Lo mbono uthi asuhlala kundalashe funeke sihambe nokuhamba kwamaxesha sisebenzise ulwazi lweli xesha ukutshintsha imo nempilo yabantu bakuthi. Therefore, our gathering here today is in line with the vision of the district, in where education of our children is key to the realization of the long-term vision, that of a smart district. You know, when you it is as if abantu have initiated this system by reading that long-term vision yethu. We are envisaging ukwenza iMathole a smart district using the new innovations and technology. And as systems zinjengezi mphathiswa uze nawe uzozibona, they respond exactly to that vision esinayo ezingingqi yaseMathole. Without adequate provision of education, there is no chance that the social development of our communities can be realized. In the words of Dr. Nelson Mandela, he has this to say, and I quote, "Education is a powerful weapon which you can use to change the world." Close quote. Ucho Utatu Madiba usnika lo myalezo wokokubana esona sixhobo esinamandla nesinokuthi sisebenzise ukutshintsha ilizwe lethu yile mfundo. In the words of Dr. Mandela, our gathering here is not only about handing over of the material, but is an important step in changing our communities for the better. While delivering the State of the Nation address, President Ramaphosa emphasized that the task of delivering services to the communities cannot be achieved by government alone. The private sector must also contribute and assist the government. Therefore, the partnership with the ECDC and the European Union in assisting the school to achieve her developmental objective is exactly what utata upresident ayithethayo athi urhulumente akanawukwazi eyedwa okokubana enze olutshintsho. Ngalo mazwi ndivumeleni mphathiswa ohloniphekileyo nditsho okokubana namkelekile kwingingqi yaseMathole. Ndiyabulela mphathi nkqubo.
Mandibulise nam ngegama elihle lenkosi yam uYesu Kristu uthe awutsho utata uNdikinda ndakhuthazeka ndabona uba ndindedwanga MEC uba ukafiki ingathi siza kuzama sakurhanqa usondele ewe usondele uba ukafiki setshilo utata uGeorge uba ndinguwakhaba ifani uXesibe isiduko khaya kulapha edutywa kwilali ekuthiwa kuse-Oakland. Okwam ke akukudanga ndizawuthi ndiyitsibe le ndawo yokuthi go through mandithi ke i-attendees zethu namhlanje ngenxa yoba uprogram director noko uye wanaba kuloo ndawo. So ukuniseyivela ixesha mandibulele nje MEC, ndibulele tata uNdikinda, ndibulele ku-office ka-executive mayor ngobukho benu kuba kaloku ubuyawuthi lo msitho uze uphelele nibe nilapha. So siyabulela kakhulu, ndibulele nakwisikolo uprincipal ne-teachers ne-governing school body yonke as well as ezi zikolo zoyi-30 ezi-represented apha zi-school governing bodies zazo no-principal abakhoyo, sibulele ngolu suku. Ndizothi mna kutheni silapha nje silapha because the Eastern Cape government in pursuit yokuphuhlisa umntwana weliphondo has sought to identify i-technology noncedisa kwiimeko zezikolo. About 3 years ago, the department yalapha ephondweni, the Department of Economic Affairs, Environment and Tourism, isebenza no National Treasury. They worked on inviting proposals from government institutions. I-proposals ezithi sinemali evela kwi-European Union yophuhliso. Sicela uba ke nina zi-agente zophuhliso nifake i-proposals kuthi ezi-based kwi-innovation ezinobonakalisa ubana singamdevelopha njani na umntu ngakumbi nangakumbi ke esikolweni. I-proposal ke esathi sayithumela iyamkeleka kwa-National Treasury, sisebenza nodidit, yilena kuthiwa i-ecological resources management system. Lena ninondixelela bhetele mna ngayo ngoku kuba kaloku nina niyibonile i-implementwa from beginning to end. Le proposal ke intlantlo ntathu in terms of i-benefits zayo. One benefit ilidibene ne-local manufacturing of bioenergy. Ngumnqake lo wakum ngumhlola ndiqhela ufunda ezincwadini kumandi uba ndiyibone isenzeka apha phambi kwam le production ye-gas within a local space. Kumandi impela xa ndizayibona iprodyuswa ndiyibone iyophuma ingumlilo esitovini, kodwa ke nina yintweni seniyiqheleleyo. Yi-development ke ne-technology le which is well received by urhulumente. Anomdla urhulumente woba singayandisa i-capacity yayo futhi singayibona nakwezinye indawo. Iphinde ke ibe nale component ye-school nutrition. I-food production ke kwelizwe is a very important matter. Urhulumente niyayazi has a special program ye-school nutrition. So any initiative supporta i-school nutrition is a most welcomed initiative ngurhulumente. So siyibonile ke pha i-drip system ezawumuva iyonkcenkceshela kutsho kube bhetele kwizityalo. Eyesithathu ke i-element beyile element yoku-improve i-sanitation system. Napha besivizithile. So ndifuna ukuthi ke namhlanje umphathiswa wethu uzonikezela ngale project kwesi sikolo nakwezi zikolo ziyi-30 zixhamleyo kule project. Andifuna uba mde, bendifuna nje uphakamisa loo ndawo ndithi ku-principal nakwi-school governing body le partnership sithe sayasebenzisana ngayo sidibene no-FoNG ningayiyeki kroboke ningayiyeki le infrastructure yonakale. Xa kukho ingxaki nithethe nikhale ningathuli ningathi kuba kungekho resources masibambisaneni naxa kunzima. Xa sesihambe ngolu hlobo iba buhlungu into oyibona iproject ebintle ngolu hlobo seyibuyele umva sekubaliswa uba injongo yayizeziya kodwa ke ngoku seyilibhodlo. So sinethemba ke lobana nizayibambela phezulu nisebenza ne-communities thina siyathembisa uba esethu isandla sawuhlala solulekile usebenzisana nani. Tata program director ndiyabulela. Nkosini.
Siyabulela CEO. Sinethamsanqa thina sizi beneficiaries zazo zonke izikolo that are recipient to the ecological management resources system, ERMS. Sinethamsanqa kuba uyayazi ba ngamaxesha amaninzi izinto ezi-inspire abantwana zizi kubona izinto senze kwaphambi kwabo. Would have a lot of scientists had we had systems ezifana nezi kwizikolo zethu, because you find the biological science in practice, you find chemical science in practice, in action, you find environmental management science in so zonke ezi sciences uzibona together, combined. So xa uzibonayo uzaziqonda uba ezezabaJapan nabelungu namajamani nawe umuntu omnyama ungakwazi, because siyipati yendalo. Indalo lena isinika i-resources zokuba sikwazi ukuphila. So we are so encouraged by the fact that yenzeke esikolweni. But ke ndiceliwe ke apha nixolele kancinci mhlawumbi i-diversion for me program. Isikolo indaba nkulu sina secondary school ine item ye-welcome address bacela nje banike ithuba just before FoNG started through the system briefly. Tishara, ndizama ukunika ithuba ngoku before FoNG azoba asinike presentation of the system yenza kanjani. Yeah, ndiyacinga uba ibalulekile le item because bebepreparishile i-welcome address in appreciation of the support and the assistance abayifumeneyo. Not all schools have got a system efana nalena, and many more schools zisafuna nazo uba zichamle kunto njengalena. So ndizabanika baze ngaphambili bazodeliverisha the welcome address.
Greetings to the House at its maximum capacity. Standing forth is Tim Nadlova, and I have a duty to do the welcoming speech. It is my pleasure to welcome everyone to our beautiful venue. It's a glad welcome we bring to you this morning, filled with the desires, hopes, and dreams we all share. We are delighted to offer the most hospitable welcome we can. We are humbled by your presence, but mostly we are humbled by the programs presented to us. Not only are they successful, but fruitful to our schools and communities. It is said that it is better to teach a man how to fish. Only then they are able to provide for their families consistently, unlike just giving them the fish without equipping them with the necessary skill set. This is exactly what these programs are doing for our society. Without a doubt, you will enjoy your stay here so much that some of you might end up not wanting to leave. Worry not, we have made all the necessary arrangements. You are welcomed to this big, loving family of ours. I understand some of you have gotten accustomed to my voice. Unfortunately, I have to leave your warm presence with this short quote written by Henry W. Longfellow. Great is the art of beginning, but even greater than that is the art of ending. So with those words, that end of one chapter is the beginning of another. I thank you.
Executive Mayor, Honorable MEC, the project Yani, it's truly a collaborative effort between various spheres of government. We've talking about local, provincial spheres of government, but now we're coming to the national sphere of government, the source of our funding. The lady that has been very passionate about this project, even during the difficult time of allocations between national and provincial, Ms. Bianca van Wyk works for the National Treasury, responsible for this EU funding that enabled us to fund and roll out so many units over the 30 schools between the district of Krisani as well as Amatola district municipality. So a demonstration of really collaborative efforts between various spheres of government. We will call upon Ms. Bianca van Wyk to say a few words regarding the collaboration that we've had in implementing this project in the Eastern Cape. Ms. van Wyk, the platform is yours.
Thank you so much. I would just like to say thank you that the ECDC was able to make this available. I'm not sure if you can hear me. Great. So I would just like to say thank you to everyone that made this possible. We are all here from the power of a phone call. And just picking up the phone and just speaking to Vidit, and that we are here today. This brings me great joy to be part of this handover and to see that this has come to fruition today. In 2020 study, actually last week, I was able to sit down with the USAID and say, this project is now finally finished. And I talk about this project with so much light. Whichever platform I go to, I speak highly of the Eastern Cape. And I would just like to say thank you to everybody that took part in making this happen. And it's really been a journey to get this far, and especially with all of us, the stakeholders together. This is an example of what can happen when all from Kofi Annan that said, our biggest challenge in this new century is an idea that seems abstract, which is sustainable development, and turning it into reality for all the world's the people. So this project has now become a beacon of hope for us to see what can really happen if you all get together and work hard. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Bianca. That was Ms. Bianca van Wyk. She has been very helpful. There was a time, CEO, where there was a complication of getting the funds in the middle of the project. We had to take a delegation from the Eastern Cape to National Treasury in Pretoria, where we really had to rub some knuckles. But at the end of the day, we left the meeting, understanding each other and also agreeing on the plan to roll the project forward. And I just want to allow just a small item, which is not part of the program. There are a few students that just want to share with the Executive Mayor and the Honorable MEC their experience on the utilization of this solution. So I would not have done fairness if I don't allow them to come forward to share their experience on the benefits of utilizing the solution that we're talking about today. Bazanga Pambili, are you going to introduce them, Tulani?
Ndiyabulela mphathi nkqubo, ndiyabulela kwizithwalandwe neenkokheli zethu ezilapha. Yimini enkulu le kum nekhampani yam. Lo msebenzi siwubonisayo namhlanje uthatha ixesha elide kakhulu ukuba ufikele kweli nqanaba. Mr. George ugqiba uthetha ngoku about having to rub knuckles. Ibiyijoke libisenzeka phaa phezulu, besilwa gqithi apha, but into endiyithandileyo, each robust engagement was destined to deliver the goods we see today. And we are of the view that we will gain massive traction from what we've done. So we can only grow and do better from now. But Mr. George, uchilba ndiyabetheka pha ekuthetheni. As a result, ne-ambassadors ezintathu ezisuka apha esikolweni zizo ke ezizawusixelela nge-experience yazo in using the system. So ndizawunikela kubo ke ngokwe-order bame ngayo. Enkosi, Program Director, ndiyabulela.
Greetings to the House at its utmost capacity. Standing forth as Msana Alubonile, a grade 11 learner, I will be talking under the topic organic farming. Organic farming is an agricultural process that uses fertilizers of organic origin, such as compost manure and green manure. It also places emphasis on crop rotation, companion planting, and biological pest control. In the wise words of Earl Nightingale, open quote, "The world we live in is a mirror of our attraction and expectations," close quote. In our garden, we practice organic farming. By using biological pest control, by planting spring onions around the beds so that insects don't feed on the crops in the beds. We also use companion planting, whereby we have cabbage, spinach, beetroot, and green peppers in the same bed, so that the nutrients in the soil can be totally used up before the new nutrients are made by the soil again. I thank you.
You need to nourish in order to flourish. With those words, ladies and gentlemen, I greet you all. Standing forth is Annalisa Kangaka, a grade 11 A learner from Ndabangulu, SSS. I'll be presenting under the topic that states irrigation of plants by the use of water dripping. Irrigation is the agricultural process of applying controlled amounts of water to land to assist in the production of crops as well as growth. Drip irrigation is a type of micro irrigation system that has a potential to save water by allowing Drip irrigation is a type of micro irrigation that has a potential to save water by allowing water to drip slowly into the roots of the plants. It is especially done in winter season as it is the most driest season ever. Irrigation mostly helps to ease the photosynthesis process as it needs water to complete its function. In my school, we use water from boreholes, taps, and tanks, and this water is transported in water pipes that have main valves and semi-valves. This water is transported in the garden that has 13 plant plants on the left and 12 plant plants on the right. In each plant bed, there are small pipes in between plants, and these pipes have small holes that help water to drip slowly into the plant root. And in my school, we irrigate about 2 hours a day in each plant bed. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, it is important to use water dripping as irrigation as it saves water, and you all know that we are facing a huge crisis of water in South Africa. I thank you.
Green is gold. With those words, ladies and gentlemen, I greet you all. Standing forth is Mpumzi Buso, and I am a grade 11A student from Dabangulu Senior Secondary School, and I'll be presenting under the topic that states the importance of a nursery or a greenhouse. A greenhouse is a structure used to grow and nourish a seedling up until it is transplanted into the prepared plant seed beds. All life starts at the nursery, as it is where plants are fed the proper nutrients they need to be healthy vegetables that we need in order to be healthy and bright. The importance of greenhouse. Greenhouses protect the seedlings from harsh weather conditions and provide the perfect space for growth, nourishment, and great environmental progression. Not only will these greenhouses help our school, but they will help other schools and communities, which will further improve the agricultural sector and thus improve South Africa's economy. In our school, we have a greenhouse, a structure covered by polyfilm or shade net so that the plants can grow under partially or completely modified environment. This structure is ventilated. The seedlings are raised inside the structures on raised beds or plug trays. Before they are transplanted into proper prepared beds, seedlings have to be planted in plug trays where their growth is monitored frequently and their nourishment is controlled. These plug trays are found inside the greenhouses. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is hence that we believe that the greenhouse program should be a program that is dispersed throughout South Africa's schools. I thank you.
Leadership and greatness is exposed in days like this. Already we have got scientists that have been inspired by this initiative. So I'm so excited that we're not only seeing ourselves living infrastructure, but we also living inspiration of the development of new scientists from this school.
Bekufanele kule ndawo kuthetha u-circuit manager in the form of Medezokwe njengoba kutshiwo apha kwesi sikhombisi kuthiwa yi-program. But unfortunately so ubambeke kwenye program elapha ezovuyo mntakamadudu. Ndimfakele iprogram wacela ndiyombriefa but ngenxa yobambeka kwizinto ngezinto andikwazanga uyokumbriefa. He was ready. Ndizawucela uxolo kuye that ngenxa yozama ukungixesha ndiye ndadecide uba ndime on behalf of the department. Xa siqeshwa singo-principal, we receive 2 letters of appointment. One, it tells you that on a particular date, you must report in that particular institution because you are being appointed to go and serve. That's letter number 1. Letter number 2, you are appointed as an accounting officer and a representative of the department in the absence of the department. So I stand in that behalf. Ndifuna ukuthi ngaze kwenzeke ukuthi kanti sendimele no HOD lo in the absence of the HOD. Because those are the people that I represent in their absence. Because my letter of appointment speaks to that exactly. Ndimele ezi zikolo zale area in particular. Undinikile Mr. Bono. When I read through the message that he sent to me through a WhatsApp, the list of the schools that are part of this program in this area, not in a broader area that covers a total of 30 schools. When I read here, I think I got a total of 12 schools in this particular area. That will be beyond Abangulu, your Cunningham, your Lamblau, your Blythesuit Institution, your Vuluhlanga, Zolandile, Nondwe, Senzele, Busila, Mahliwane, Chafutweni, and Zolandile, Uba andimbizi okwesibini. Sizo amanage leyo ukundifakela zona Mr. Bono. I represent those schools on behalf of the department to say to the leaders that conceived this idea from whatever part of the world that they are, not only conceived the idea but decided to bring it here in this part of the world. We are very humbled. We do not have the sufficient vocabulary to explain how we feel. Maybe ngenye imini sawukwazi ukuyenza loo nto, because one of the speakers bezithethe apha zithe we will continue to engage. When there is a challenge, sawuhamba sihamba simana sitsalana ngebhatyi, so that zingabi a white elephant ezi structures zishwe apha nale project zisebenze. Ndicinga uba program director, there is no need for me to get into detail trying to explain what this program means in these schools that I have counted, and in particular in Dabangulu that happens to be the host. The reason for that, I think, nibambefile ababandwana, nibabonile ababandwana, who decided to take the stand. Babonakalisele lihlabathi li-invitwe up under this roof today, into yokubana what this program means. Ndicinga uba it is self-explanatory into eyenziwe ngabo bantwana. I need not to repeat it or rather dwell too much to explain it further in case ndiyimoshe. Kodwa MEC, uMayor and all the senior officials.
Without further ado, the keynote address for this day. I'm really inspired. He hasn't been able to go and I know that this school as a center is not only going to produce great learners from this school, but the neighboring school will also benefit and feed off what is in the school. The spirit is called school. For our keynote address, we call upon our honorable MEC Mvogo. All busy schedule yakhe kodwa ukwazile ukuthi namhlanje abeke ecaleni zonke ezinye izinto aze naphakathi phambi kwethu namhlanje uzosigracer noku appreciate appreciation of lento eyenzekile kwesisikolo. Mphathiswa masende kunike.
Inkosi mntakwethu.
Sangisa saqala uthikolose. Sithathu utye emxholweni komxhosa ethe xhopho. Ungaba uchule uchaza ucacace isizwe de sicacelwe gca. Ngugada mbekweni aqhaqhathe engakhathwa. Ndikubone ngomqolo vetye ngokwazi ukusingatha ingxaki zesintu zobuntu zoluntu. Isifuba sibanzi ngokwazi ukuba lixhala belibanzi lokuthola imitholo yabantu. Kaloku wena uxelela uxebada uphatha amaqatha ngokwazi ukusingatha impumelelo yomntu omntana omntu omnyama. Ndikubone ngesifuba esibileke kuba kudala inyebe zisiwa kuwe. Konkosi ke usikelele nasi sisalo sakho. Thothubekho sithathu, thothubekho ndebe, kakade sizwe siphila ngamntu, sibantu ngamntu myeke bathathe.
Thank you very much, Program Director. Yabona ke Mayor, ubhele nam unibengele. Kuba bendizawuthi kuye bhele kaloku xa unabantu bakho bazawuthi bathethe kamandi nathi ubosichazela size nabethu. Ngoku ke mandibulele banam unibengele bhele. Kwixesha elizayo ke ngamlibala uMayor. Dimodlule namhlanje. Enkosi. Thank you very much, Program Director. Bencinga ba ke ngela xesha Mr. Wakaba bekusithiwa akuthandazwanga ibhekabheka. Bencinga uzawubiza mna. Athi manizothandaza. Ndiyabona ke ba ungabizi kwakhe mna kubangele ukuba undithandabuze. Kodwa ke andizoba sayilandela. Into mandibulise ku Executive Mayor waseMathole District Municipality and ndibulise ku Mr. Matutu omele uMayor walapha eMnqumo. Ndiyayithanda wento ba kwezindawo sihamba kuzo singafiki sihamba sodwa. Sifike bekhona abantu abamele umasipala, because umasipala in the cold face of service delivery. Of course sizathu soba size apha sinishiye ngasem. So thank you very much. Ndibulise ku uba Wakaba negqiza lakhe bakwa Eastern Cape Development Corporation. Ndibulise ku School Governing Board. Akhange ndive kuthethwa ngaso bhele apha. Ndive ndazi nje utishara ababini kodwa andibazi kanti andive bencinga mhlambi kumsitho njengalo uzaba naso School Governing Board kodwa uba sikhona uzonikrweca xa siphuma apho kwenze ndithethe nomnye wabo. Ndibulise kwinkosi yalapha elalini bendivile ba ubawo undikinda ethetha ingathi ikhona inkosi yaselali mandikhahlele kuyo. Ndibulise kubantu bonke abalapha. Ndibulise nakwabantwana nicule kamnandi yazi. Gqithi nandikhumbuza kude kudala. Bencinga ba mna uProgram Director uzawuthafa phakathi kwezi zithethi because iprogram yethu sihamba ngayo kakuhle simese yagqiba 12:30 sekushiyeke 1 ngoku isithethi isengu-20 to 12. Bencinga uzawuthafa phakathi akanikwe imayeni isivisa. Hayi ndiyabona uba uqina inhliziyo. Owawuthi umuntu uqina ndiyambona uba uProgram Director uqina inhliziyo akafuni tu uninika abantwana bam. Sinincomile sonke sihleli pha ngaphambili sathi yo kuqulukamandi abantwana. Ungena kwenu la khona ithemba. Hayi kodwa mandinibulele mna nje kuba ndinivile. Enkosini kakhulu man niculeke kamandi gqithi khandive ku principal wenu. Handimvu principal ethetha ngani nomculo. Bencinga ba uzawuthetha ngani nomculo. Ndimamene icula la Saker Boss ba ingoma yakudala leni yacula kamandi gqithi. Khangathethe ngani ngomthela bake nisafufusa bemculweni. Ze ke niqinise ke kwenzela ba naxa ibale ezinye izinto anibale nani. Thank you very much to Tulani. Nyanisile principal nam I had ndithe xa bendithetha noThulani phaya ndafumana that side of him. Xa bendimbuza personally ba wenza ntoni usuka phi. Ndikomo sikukho laa nto yabethe FoNG nam bendithe ndabona baqonda angama FoNG khongo alapho. So Tulani finishes of nature global. And I'm hoping that ndimamela abantwana bethetha apha. I'm hoping that abantwana besikolo all understand how the system works, because that's very important. Uzawungabikho wena apha. UFoNG uzawungabikho. U-ECDC namhlanje uzothi nansi lento papa yini. I-department izothi kuni nansi lento besisisa papa yini. Ishiyeke kuwe bhele notishara bakho ne-community. Now abantwana. That's why I'm saying I'm hoping get Tulani you've done that. Qha ke khandizibone zapawns usifake apha. Kwesi sikolo ndihambile yonke into ngoku ndiqoma ndifuna ubona ezapawns bendizibonile nakula video nam ngoba ndiyithunyele. Ngoku ndade ndalibala ukubuza ziphe ezalapha ii-pawns kodwa kuzandiphendula xa singaphandle uba kutheni zingekho nje ii-pawns mhlawumbi ke ndiyiphosile we understand a lot. But thank you very much. Bele, ndizunibonisa ihostel yakho njengohost isikolo nje. Bayiphi le hostel yakho hostel engakandulasa abantwana beziclassroom because ndakuthumela ngakubamba kusasa kuleyo into yokuthumela abantwana beziclassroom ingakumbi kweli xesha le-COVID. Which brings me to my next point, and iphosi ke lena whenever I get an opportunity to speak that i-COVID is still around. I-COVID ibulele abantu abaninzi, obhuti bethu nosisi bethu kwabanye, omama bethu, odamkhulu bethu, obrother bethu ngexesha bekunzima ngalo. It's important ke that lonke ixesha mna when I take the platform I start there. I have reasons to start there. Because for the past 2 years, kwanyanzeleka as provincial government, Mr. Wakaba senze mayor adjustments ezimbini in order for us to cater for the Department of Health to be able to upgrade the facilities zayo, okwesibini uqesha abantu temporary kwezandawo and to employ more people. Loo nto ibangele ukuthi sikhathi budget in all departments by about 30 to 40% in order to meet the application. So kwelinye icala lam they understand the impact of COVID. So it's important that whenever silapha sithethe ngaloo nto, I observed into yoba phele abantwana balapha including you anizinxibi masks. And that is not good. That is not good. Ndiqala apha uthetha ke mna ke. Because if sinofumana enye wave apha, we will be affected nisesisikolo, and you will need a lot of assistance, and MEC Ugade is going to come to me at ndicele assistance. So number one, we must always wear masks all the time. So abantwana abanazo masks apha kuni abahlela phansi, khuphani masks zenu nizinxibe. Abantu abakhulu abalapha, khuphani masks zenu nizinxibe. It is not for you, but it's for the province, the people of this province. It's also about the resources of this province that are going to be used for COVID. Thank you very much. I'm privileged and honored ukuba ndibe lapha today in this handover and showcase of the program, the school's ecological resource management system. Nam ndizawucela phofu bendicele kaloku undithumele ezaa zikolo. Yeah, kwenzela ndizonika umeya ezakhe izikolo. This is an intervention that will significantly improve water and sanitation conditions for the participating schools, most of which are in the rural areas of our province, whilst also contributing to the National Schools Nutrition Program. This is the good part about it, that it has targeted rural schools. Because siyathanda uba ne-programs, Mr. Wakaba, instead of us rural schools, she targeted the urban schools. That's what makes me happy. But not only for that reason, but also for the reason that many rural schools have a challenge of sanitation. Many rural schools have a challenge of water. So, the program ezinjengezi, when they are targeting rural schools, they are standard because they capacitate the learners in the rural areas and the parents as well. The persistent drought conditions across country and the specter of continuous warm weather conditions due to climate change threaten future water security. It has become evident that water may increasingly become a limiting resource, restricting future socio-economic development and affecting livelihoods in the world, our country and our province. Finding sustainable solutions to this challenge heavily depends on acquiring appropriate and affordable technologies that provide long-lasting solutions to our water-related challenges. Yesterday, I was watching a program, 403, last night, and there was this guy talking exactly about climate change and how it is affecting South Africa and how much we are not doing to actually try and avert a worse situation when it comes to climate change. Kuvele ngoDisemba kulo December kubande kube kwi-temperature ongayiqhelanga kubande sinxibe ngoDisemba. The same thing happened in June last year phakathi kuJune kumele siyagodola kube kuzinsuku iveki yonke kube shushu. You can see the temperatures in the Western Cape, in Cape Town, for the past 2 weeks. They've been ranging from between 29 and 35 for 2 solid weeks at this time, and it's very unusual for areas like Cape Town. So climate change is real. The sooner we start talking about it and teaching our people about it and coming up with solutions, actually, that would, to a larger extent, mitigate some of the challenges that will come from climate change, the better. So that's why I love a program of this nature. ECDC did it through its agency, ECDC, working in partnership with FoNG, Finishes of Nature Global, implemented this, as we are told, in 30 schools in the province. So these beneficiary schools have been afforded with dignified sanitation system and sustainable food production through the vegetable garden that reinforces the school's nutrition program. And that's what I liked about it. When I saw the video yesterday, Mr. Wakab, I said, the good thing about it, it's not only about giving this school gas, yopeka, and it's the whole cycle. That's what I like about it. It starts from where, because there's no waste concept. This is a very good concept. I'm sure Yamazi, Dr. Blue, and Yamazi now, Sunshine Blue. I used to work with him. We come from the same town, actually. We used to work with him. When Kautilana is a scientist, you know, he specializes in these things, fiber and endone. But Kautilana, his dream is about no waste, and that's what he wants to do. So when I saw this concept yesterday, I was very glad, because it talks about the whole value chain. The waste we produce, how it gets to be used, how everything gets to be recycled, so that it starts from a garden, ziyofakwa phaya emgqomeni, and all of that phinde zibuye ziproduce gas kuphekwe ngayo. That's what I like. That's what is called sustainability. That's the good thing about this program. So if ever there could be an opportunity umuntu athi kum mayor hayi ndiyeza ndina imali yokuncedisa kule program, Mr. Waka, I would easily nominate this program as one of those programs that could actually benefit. This pilots the rollout of the integrated biogas and algal sanitation system. Thus far, this system has demonstrated reliable, robust, and low-maintenance approach to providing rural schools with decent, dignified, and safe sanitation, which is exactly what I was talking about. The successful rollout of this initiative in our schools is linked to government priorities regarding social and local economic development outcomes, which among others include the provision of dignified sanitation, improved public health, replacement of fuel imports, energy saving, job creation, localization, opportunity for a practical life science laboratory. I did not get the opportunity of going through the school and actually seeing the school. What facilities does the school have? I think if I have an opportunity, I will do that just to see in Dona Koya school. Because it's important that when you have something of this nature, that you also look at the other facilities that the school has, so that you leverage on this system for other facilities that you have. Principal ke nimvile ke yena ufuna ntoni nanke mayor andikathethi ngalifuna uprincipal leya sivumele into ba sizothetha nawe athethe no mayor walapha mna ndine interest kwesi sikolo ba what other facilities unayo life science laboratory unayo physical science laboratory. That's what I'm interested in. Unayo into ezizakho, so zizo yiyo le ndibuzayo ke principal xa bendilapha just to check on that one. The success of this initiative will create possibilities for further innovative technology rollouts and integration into planning programs for sustainable rural development and poverty reduction. It will further allow for resource mobilization for community development initiatives targeting sustainable food production, green energy production, and environmentally friendly sanitation systems. So reason ndibuzile kula mfana wakabhona uba community yakho, how involved is it in this program? Because we might be doing this program for the school. Imagine if we could do this program for the community. Think about that, the scale. And if we could be doing it for the community, how all other facilities around here could benefit. In fact, we might have to disconnect the school from only being the beneficiary to this program, but to be part of a bigger and a greater, a bigger scale in terms of the community in beneficiating from such a program. That's why bendibuza la nto ibalekile la nto, so that if you go to Europe, many of your cities in Europe, and see how they are using gas for very many things, how I wish it could happen in this country. So such small programs could actually lead to that, because what I like about it is also the fact that abantu who came up with it are local. We did not get people from overseas to come and do it. Such a young man was able to come up with this kind of a technology, local being in the Eastern Cape, young man. So it would open, this kind of a project can then open opportunities for others to think broader and wider. This one is for the rural, but imagine if someone can come and think about it as an IO for Payedolopin, what you could get from Payedolopin, and the capacity of the gas to be produced and the beneficiaries by Payedolopin. So I like this, they inspire innovation into the young ones. I must recognize and commend the commitment of the institution responsible for the implementation of this program. I must also extend appreciation and gratitude to the European Union through National Treasury for recognizing the need for this project and availing the necessary funding to invest in this infrastructure. This is indeed a worthy investment to the promising future of our learners. I'm sure all of us will agree that this is not money lost. The trick in it is how we sustain, how we maintain in order to sustain this program. That's the trick in it. Great praise also goes to all the local governing bodies. I thought I was going to ask this business school that are here and that are actually beneficiaries. The principals and the teachers of the beneficiary schools who have received this initiative with enthusiasm. I know that they very well that the future of our country is rooted on those who answered the call to impart knowledge and nurture our children both academically and socially. I was speaking to Principal Utishara, Kandi Utisharakazi, Mamambani. What? Mamumza. They gone when Baufundi Mam, funding disease. This is what Londo le. Mamumza, Nanding a person of no 60 minyak. Got him down, Mamma, and can't him to recognize as Umamba. Did cheeky glondole. The Tetian Mamumzam. Does Amao understand some of the things as in Zakayo up? A school in Italy and Imbule. And one of the things when Mbuzang are Ilando is toilets. Sinasos for Milano Mamumzam. Mamumzam is for Milano some now, Dinasos for Milano principal. Can't the Benzini, Mayor, the Cretans are going to come on to St. Lilin, Alamatot, the Ambana, guess Chicago's colonies of one by Yensek and Alan, Uniki Casala break, can Puma. So that any time can Creta and Sitam Wenchel, the Genzo Kangel, was about Lake Land. Akuna Zekube Kokona, such an effort, Mr. Waka, in the facility engine, could the Weneza toilets and everything, and part of it is not working. Let's do something to make sure that the whole ecosystem is connected and is working. That's a commitment Umama Mzama Yenzileyo kunye no principal have spoken. Tivile kuba umamumzamo no tishara ubuka are the custodians of this program here. Uchilo upon and bayithathile kwasekuqaleni and they bayikhulisa by nesa lento and made sure it happens. So I'm very glad about that. So tetnomdo right ke kanthele nayo naxa nifikile lapha ngokuba uprincipal akakho sawufika sifuna bona ndibonile phaya ba utishara lona iHOD xa bekuintroduce phaya ngathi uvele kodwa iHOD xa mayike uzawumela isikolo xa enjalo ba ndifikile. So that's what I like. Andivanga kakhulu irole yabanye ye community on who is actually involved from the community in making sure that this happens. Not going but practically, because this is where we miss it, where we do not involve the parents, the community, practically, to come and volunteer and be part of such solutions in the school. That's where we miss it. That's why it's developing. In fact, it's developing because people do not identify and don't take ownership of many of the facilities they have. Mr. Matutu, your Maspal, especially local municipalities, where they would want to erect a soccer field. Bafunu regulate a soccer field. Babene holo, bafunu regulate la holo. Kandi if kulelali when the soccer field, nekubize uba izintathu zasoka usinubiza abeza clubs zontathu uthi jongani senze soccer field usuka namhlanje the soccer field yini you are going to take responsibility for it kuyo yonke into. If you have a problem, come to us. Unike bali necingo banike isithixo. If they have a board banike isithixo and give them. Uye kuhlala phaka masipala kufuneka abantu baze bazoqesha ibala kuyovulelwa ngucaretaker, because now if they own it bazaba ngocaretaker kwelabala and they will make sure that that is maintained. This is the problem with it, where programs and projects are not owned by communities. No holo wenze holo apha kokhona abantu abangabahlali balapho, we ward committee, we councillor khona abahlali balapho. Iholo kubenzima umuntu uzayifumana ufuneka aye phaya ayocenga, sometimes kuvaliwe kutshixiwe naphaya nawe uyitshixile. Kanti if you come to this community uthi nasi isithixo seholo ngoba nabantu are going to be responsible for this hall tena bonke bavumelana soziyophuka nefestire la holo. That's why I'm saying even in schools, all day with COVID, during the time of lockdown level 5, many schools were vandalized. Precisely because abantu abahlala phaya do not identify. They can see the school, but abakwazi uthatha skolo sesabo, they own it. So that's why I always say involvement of parents, not only the school governing body, the parents themselves is very important in programs of this nature. As of today, the ecological resource management system is handed over to the 30 beneficiary schools and the communities. Kandi veke, Mr. George, Mr. Waka, I missed how involvement of the Department of Education is in this whole program. I know that Nina Ningaba Olapa Gule Department did went out for calls for respond for innovation, responder, and then go to the department. National Treasury will organize or mobilize the funding, or EU fund. But I don't hear the role of the department in all of this. I was very happy to the program Dr. Mbute out but again ngicayenge ekhoyo umelwe nguprincipal ndiyamva kodwa ndiyafuna ke principal ndoba ndive babathini as a department. Maybe you must make me understand what is their role, because now we're handing over to 30 schools. It's something to brag about, to say 30 schools in the Eastern Cape have benefited in such a program. Abanyamantu would say, we want this program replicated in many more schools. The provincial government might at some stage decide, you know what, in the program in FoNG, how much can we mobilize as the provincial government to take maybe 20 more schools? But if you don't, department, are we foolish in this process? It's a bit of a challenge. If I'm missing it, you will correct me, gentlemen. Because ndifuna no card so kwama xa niphuma benza thana ucard ndindivelontsha la program. Bekumele ba una late uDr Mbute kulapha. Akazanga uDr Mbute. Akuthumelanga. Why? Do you know about this program? Zambuza umuntu asiphuma. Kwenza ukuthi akayazi, did I must introduce. Ukuthi uyayazi ndimbuze why? Kama ndike bengena sebenza kwela department. I've had a stint in the department. It is now the responsibility of the schools, with support from the community members, to ensure that these facilities are well maintained. My appreciation also goes to the contractor who assisted in making this project a success. Ladies and gentlemen, with climate change, we must change. Thank you very much.
Sizayiva pha kububa into mhlawumbe ibonwa njengantoni, but i-involvement ye-communities ndifuna ukhomenda kuzo zonke ezi zikolo zi-installelwe le system, that even ne-labor le uchoose abantu abazawusebenza aba bazawutrainwa ngu-FoNG to maintain bebesincedisa, and also to deal with into ze-garden. The project, Honorable MEC, it's at a micro level, but it has great potential. UFoNG, I still remember at one stage, I will share with you that proposal. UFoNG and their partner were planning and designing a project with Mercedes-Benz to pump in gas. Uyabona mos xa une landfill site, ulahla waste over years, and then it decommission le landfill site. You can no longer use it. All biological waste is there, it's layers and layers. So call it a parkside. It's rich with gas, le gas titanga. So Mercedes-Benz was planning, we've got a very comprehensive proposal, Mercedes-Benz, to pump in gas across the river, across the Steve Biko Bridge to the plant, to power the plant. In exactly the same way as BMW in Roslyn is using Bulong to power any plant. So it's the future of energy. And Mr. Makinana, we were last year in our concept meetings talking about as small-scale farmers. There is so much that can be done with the small-scale farmers, with the waste that is with our farmers, to take them off le billing energy. Even with irrigation. In Europe, they use biogas to power even irrigation sprinklers, because that's one of the energy cost drivers, the farming. So yonke le nto high cost driver, you can minimize it by just using le waste le nto uyilahlayo uyifake kwimill, imilishe uyifake kwi-biodigester, uyibreak into the methane gas. You know, ngenye imini ndake ndaya kumasipala waseKomani. I was amazed. Most of us singayaziyo. Ndafika pha, there is a reticulated system of biogas generation from the sewage treatment plant. You can use the sewage treatment plant, take your own method. It's a lot of gas. Umasipala can be off into yonke into heating and no running generators. Infrastructure is there, but it was not completed. I don't know why. But I was so amazed and fascinated by the thought that someone did. Kula sewage treatment plant as Queenstown. Inayo land, but I agreed to pump it into a generator. The biggest poultry piggery in this country is in Queenstown. And the richest source of le methane, as a result, the National Department of Environment yaifuna ukuba charger for so much methane that is released, which to uti is dangerous, greenhouse gas released into the air. But when you pump it and you use it for cooking and anything else, then it's clean and friendly. But we allowing so much greenhouse gas as the impactor, the speed up by process climate change to escape into the air, whereas we could divert it and make it for industrial and productive use. But this is that are needed for even a wider discussion. But there's great potential. Without further ado, let me call Councillor Matutu, or head yakwa portfolio committee infrastructure.
Mandibulise ngale mini emaqanda, if ayikabe konva kwemini. Ndithi inqanga nenzima zayo kuba ndingakhe ndiphazame mphathiswa. Ndiqale ngomfama ndigqibela ngaye, ndigqibele ngomfama ndiqala ngaye. Njengoba besenivile ke into yoba ndithunye apha ndisuka kulo rhulumente wamakhaya ulapha umnqumo. Eyam ke idyuthi incinci kakhulu. Niwa nje into yomakhe ndinibulele ngokunyathela kwenu apha. Nangokuba nithi xa beniqweciwe nasondela nafika nangena. Undikhumbuza ke le nto ubuyithetha apha mphathiswa kwimibuzo emininzi edla ngokubuzwa. Othi lithe nixhego apha sime apha kule nto yamanzi anqabileyo meya waseMathole. Lithi sikhula abantwana bam sinemithombo streams khona okwazikatshina namhlanje. Nide nenze intoni ngazo? Siyibona wena ikhala noba oopipe badala infrastructure lime apha logxeka lathi kule mithombo ninayo kwezi lali zinu kuba ngasa imithombo nenza ntoni ngazo? Kuba sinibonile uba ngoko niyadevelopa kule nto ye-technology kuba line-boreholes neentoni na. So ithetha ukuthi ixesha elizayo ilali nganye yakhe ibe ne-borehole yayo ke i-water table apha iphezulu. So akunoze kubekho umuntu ophinde othi udinga amanzi ngokwasezilalini. Ndiyikrokrela kuba le sayensi nohlubeze ngalo iza kuncedisa loo nto. Ndiyiphathisa wena ke nami engumbuzo osiza kum. Ndize kuwe ke mphathiswa njengoba ubusowubeka apha umcimbi omninzi ndiwumamela. You see anza ngoxela ke kodwa ke mandiyicacise ngoku kule nto ye-IGR intergovernmental relations apha esinayo emnqumo. Zonke i-government departments zikhona. Kodwa when it comes to education ayunqabile. Kama benza umkrwetha umuntu ebekhona olapha ndimkrwetheni uba hayi ke kune-programs ezininzi besike sazenza singumasipalathi. Noko babonqaba ke bona kuloo nto. So sizicima fana xa usuzawukrweca ke usokrweca unjalo. Man committee handithunywa ke le. Ubhele ayazi uba asisuphela singumnquma sizazonyathela apha. Kuba iyawuba izintloni ezimbi ezo mamumzamo. Naw tata ubhuqa kuze umphathiswa eze kuze no meya waseMathole kanti sibe sigqibelisile thina. Hayi sizawuza. Man committee kuleyo into zafika ndimxelele umeya uba hayi ndikhomithile ke phaa. Ezinye izinto ekufanele siyazenza njengomasipala sawuziva phaa sibone uba sinako okanye asinako. Ngamazwi nje okufuna ukubulela abo ndibulela neetitshala bethu nelali yonke abazali abakhoyo. In particular abantwana. Abantwana bam kukho into ibisithi kubazali bayanicela into yoba nifocuse kangako nakuze niphumelele ebomini. Yayisitsho mos loo nto ndithi ze niyigade ke ningaphumi belele niphumelele. Ngasova niwazi mahluko uba awuphumi umzalelele uphumelela kuba bethe uze nenjongo. Siyaniqinisekisa ke ngoku apha eNdabankulu because iNdabankulu yenye yezikolo ezibonakalisileyo apha ngokwe-results bhele. Ndizokutyhafela ke phela ndizothetha nto kuba ndikwazi kodwa ndiqinisekile into yoba lena kulo nyaka itarget yakhe ibingaphezulu kwalo ifumeneyo ngoku. Injalo ke phela sasayikroba umvile mos uthini utata umvoko uzawugqithana nini abuze nake-results ezi ungathi akangeni ndawo ungomnye icandelo. So ke nisengxakini ke apha. Enye yezinto ezirhalo phinde siyijonge into yoba ngapha kwendlela kuneprogram eclear kamasipala yokwenza imall. Le mall izakwenziwa phaa. Yes ikwi-pipeline but ke seya-approva kudala for uba yenziwe. Isabanjwe imicimbi ethile nje imbalwa. So ithetha ukuthi loo nto nale mall ngobukho bayo xa seyikhona phaya ithetha lukhulu kwakwesi sikolo silapha kufutshane. So zonke ke ezo zinto ziza kwenzeka into yoba sithi xa sifumana i-chance sikwazi ukukhulisa nale ndawo ekuyo. Nizilungiselele ke bantwana bam kangangoko ninako. Ewe andinawuthetha kakhulu ngo because ndanikhe ndakhona wethu kule ndawo kwesi sifiye salapha ndingutitshala kwakwesi sikolo kufutshane nesi sikolo silapha so ndazi yonke into ngeNdabankulu. So xa usiza apha uza unebhongo ndiyayibulela kakhulu uba kude kube kuthunywe mna ndizawubona uba le nto kwakudala ezinye izinto sizirhale uba sibe neNdabankulu kwi-level ethile ifikile ngoku. So ngaloo mazwi ke ndingakhange ndithethe into sithi enkosi. Xa ubulela kayikho into engapha kwe-enkosi mhlawumbi ngaphambili mandiqale ndibulele mna before ndehle ndiphinde ndizobulela nawe. Mandithi enkosi ngento yoba nifikile apha nale nkqubo intle kangaka yade ibe izonikezelwa ngu-MEC. Thank you.
Invite CEO wakwa ECDC, Mr. Ayanda Wakaba, Nobulali Miyataza, as a token of appreciation for the commitment ebonakaleyo kwi-tishara ne-students alapha. Kukho i-gift befuna uzihensha over. CEO will introduce our last item. But ke MEC le choir ngizayinika i-chance ke xa kuzabe sityiwa izabe icula. Ndiyakhumbula uba khani be fair kwicala lam. I-choir ibe ready.
Diabulela Pagi, Sondela Lal. We have a program, I think it's the 3rd year running now. We call it a back to school program. Unobulali, my colleague, the head of communications, will say a little bit more about it. Kodwa ke injongo zayo kuku khusela istima sabantwana bangamantombazana ezikolweni. Ulali ke will say a little bit more, and we've got products as is Peteo namhlanje in support of that program. Over to you, Lali.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Wakaba. Ndiyabulisa kwinkokheli zethu, ndibulisa nakotishara nabazali abasijoyinileyo. I'm especially happy to see that sinabazali who are with us today, because we are hoping that what we're bringing to you, it's not only for the students, but it's a message that we are wanting to extend to our communities when it comes to bringing a holistic sanitary solutions to ezikolweni. In as much as this is the ERMS system up, we're handing it over today. We're also wanting to complement that with sanitary towels to make sure that female-bodied students, they have a chance to dignified sanitary as ezikolweni. Asiko sedwa ke in this program, we are coming in partnership with MView Global, which is a Korean-based company. Banayo offices at Joburg. They couldn't join us today because today it's a public holiday in Korea, but they will be watching this as we'll be putting it up on live feed. What we have with us is the sanitary towels, face masks, which we're going to be giving to most of the high schools that this ERMS system was rolled out on. For the female-bodied students, we'll be giving them sanitary towels for unyaka wonke. And then, thank you. And then for the male-bodied, sibanika masks because asizanga apa size to the ladies zodwa. In as much as we're speaking to the ladies, we are wanting our male-bodied students bakhusele females zilapha esikolweni, even if badibana nabo outside esikolweni. So they have a little message that they have for us. And also just to appeal to the parents as well, borrowing from your words, MEC, that we need mass mobilization in making sure that students, they have a very conducive environment for learning, especially for their personal hygiene as well. So abazali xa ubona umntwana eku-menstrual cycle, if unayo indlela yonceda, nceda noba ayingomntana ophuma apha kuwe endlini. And this extends to the teachers as well. So we're giving the grade 11s and the grade 12s. Just to manage time, we're only giving the 4 students that are here now as a symbolic, and then we will then be going into the school. We'll hand the rest over to the students inside the school. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, cleanliness is next to godliness. Now allow me to extend this formal greeting to the House at its maximum capacity. Standing forth is Mazinyo Zikona, and with me I have Mbalentle Latita Ilanga Limba, and we are both grade 12 learners from Dabankulu Senior Secondary School. Here to express our incalculable gratitude. Sanitary pads are an essential need to all girls. Going to your periods and not knowing what you will use brings so much anxiety to one. It does not break my heart alone, but also the parents who cannot provide sanitary pads for their kids. As we thought the cycle might end there, but clearly it did not. As MV Global, ECDC, and COTRA also felt the pain of young girls suffering from these unfortunate circumstances.
Now, this acts as a new revelation to our school. This acts as a new turning leaf indeed. It is hence we express our greatest gratitude to ECDC, MV Global, and COTRA for their heartfelt contribution to our school. This will not only last us for a week, nor a month, but a whole year. Imagine that. Now, this will not only see us through our menstrual cycle, but will be a stepping stone in our future. No girl will miss school, ensuring us a much better future. Now allow me to leave you with a few wise words which say, true greatness comes from within. These are indeed true acts of kindness that come from the hearts of ECDC, MV Global, and COTRA. I thank you.
As the ladies of our school have already said, it is painful seeing a female learner, missing school because of her menstrual cycle and the fact that she cannot afford to buy sanitary pads. On behalf of the gentlemen of Ndabangulu Senior Secondary School, I stand to say that we vow that we will never make fun of any girl that is going through her menstrual cycle. And we vow that should we see any girl in her menstrual cycle, we will speak out and help them. We thank you.
Thank you so much.